Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this episode, we are going to discuss about Al-Basir, which means the all-seeing. Last time we have discussed a very similar attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is As-Sami', all-hearing, because these two things come together. As-Sami' wal-Basir in most places in Al-Quran. He hears everything, he sees everything. So nobody should think that any of his action is going to be hidden from Allah. First of all, according to this attribute, we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees all existing things in this universe. All those things which are not existing now, but they are going to come into existence at any time. So he yubsiru al-mawjudat wa yubsiru al-ma'dumat. The one which exists, the one which does not exist but is going to be exist, both are seen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the second thing is that he sees what is going to happen to all the existing things. What is the end of everything? We don't know the end of the things, what is going to happen to us, what is going to happen to anything. We don't know, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that. And it also means, or it implicates, that as long as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the reality of the things, what is going to happen to them, he should judge among the people one day, and that is the day of judgment. Because if he knows everything, if he sees everything, then there should be a result of that. And the result is that he says he gives them respite in this world, but that respite is only till the day of judgment, or you can say till the death of each and every person. Because as it is said, Man mata faqad qamat qiyamatuh. The person who has died, his last day has come. He is not to wait for the last hour, because his last hour has come. He has left this world. The respite which is given to him is over. Now the time which is given to him to do good actions, that time is over. So his qiyamah has already come. Again, when we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Basir, as we said in As-Sami', that his sight is not like our sight. There is no resemblance between the sight of Allah and the sight of the creatures. What we see just in front of us, we don't see what is behind us, at our back, we don't see it. And then even our sight is, sometimes it is so weak that we need these glasses. And even with the naked eye, how far you can see. So there is no resemblance between the sight of Allah and the sight of the creatures. And this attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a person fearing Allah all the time. And it is very beautifully said by some of the scholars that if you want to commit a sin and you are adamant to commit that sin, go to a place where you are not seen by Allah. Is there any place like that? No. So it means that as long as you are in this planet, you are seen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't commit the mistake. You must not die but in the state of Islam. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O believers, fear Allah as He should be feared, and you must not die except in the state of Islam. There is this interesting story of the father of a great traditionalist, Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak. When Abdullah was just a little child, a lad, that is the story of that time. His father, who was just an ordinary person, he was not a traditionalist, he took him to a garden of someone else. Actually, he wanted to pick some fruits from there, to take the fruits from the tree without the permission of the owner of that garden. He let the child sit on his shoulder, and then he started walking into the garden, and he said to the child, because he was a bit higher than him, he was sitting on his shoulder, "Lad, do you see anybody around us? And is there any other person who can see us?" And the lad said, "Yes, there is someone." The man said, "But I can't see anybody." "See once again." And he said, "Yes, I see someone." And the father was agitated. "I don't see anybody here. From where you got that knowledge, or you can see someone?" He said, "Yes, that someone is Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks upon us. He sees us." Look at this lad who was so much aware of the existence of Allah when he was still a child. That is the same child, later he became a great traditionalist. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored upon him. And this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows his favor to those people who come to Allah. Allah is going to turn them into the cream of the society, the cream of this earth. Look at the story of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. He was persuaded by the wife of Al-Aziz, that great man of Egypt, a great minister. And both of them, they were alone in the house. And he was about to commit that mistake. This is what Quran says, وَلَقَدْ حَمَّتْ بِهِ وَهَمَّ بِهَا لَوْلَا أَن رَأَى بُرْهَانَ رَبِّهِ. And she was about to commit that mistake, and he was about to commit that mistake, but he didn't. Why? لَوْلَا أَن رَأَى بُرْهَانَ رَبِّهِ. Because he has seen the evidence from his Lord. That evidence which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed in your nature, that you remember Allah at such times. That is the best explanation of this ayah, that Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, he has seen that evidence, or you can say that he has remembered that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there, who is watching them. This is why he did not commit that mistake. Now, when we say that the man got the very same function of sighting which is mentioned for Allah, but without any resemblance between two of them. Here I want to mention something which is related to the miraculous nature of Al-Quran. Quran is a mu'jiza, it is a miracle. And this miracle is of many shades. One of the shades is the language itself. Now just see that wherever in Al-Quran the function of hearing and seeing is mentioned, hearing is mentioned first and the sight is mentioned later. For example, the ayah of Surah An-Nahl, وَاللَّهُ أَخْرَجَكُم مِّن بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِكُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought you out from the bellies from the wombs of your mothers. You did not know anything, and then He made for you a sam'a wal absara wal af'ida. A sam'a first, the function of hearing, and then He mentioned about eyes, and then about hearts. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you become thankful to Allah. In the same way, in the ayah of Surah As-Sajdah, again He said, وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. After mentioning the creation of the man in different stages, and then He said that He has made for you the function of hearing and the sighting and the hearts, but little you thank Allah. So here comes this miracle of the language, that this is the real position of the child when he comes to this world, that Out of the functions of hearing and seeing, which one comes first? When a child is born, he got the function of hearing operating at that time. His eyes are not open. They will open later. And you can have an experiment. Just if you make a sound in his ear, he is going to react at once. But if you just move your hand on his eyes like this, he is not going to reflect, because his eyes are not operating now. Ears are made in such a way that they are functioning all the time, even when you are asleep. When you are asleep, your eyes are not seeing because they are closed, but your ears are still functioning. This is why if you are asleep and there is a big thunder sound, you will get up. But because your eyes are closed, there may be a thief who come in the room and you don't feel about him at all. Now come to the story of those lads who have taken shelter in the cave, running from the tyranny of their people or the tyranny of the king in their times. That is the story of Surah Al-Kahf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us about these lads, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them sleep in the cave. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted them not to see anything and not to listen to anything, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want them to be disturbed in their sleep. Now, as far as seeing the things are concerned, they are asleep, their eyes are closed, they don't see anything. But their ears are still functioning. They can hear the sound of a thunderbolt, for example. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf, فَضَرَبْنَا عَلَىٰ آذَانِهِمْ فِي الْكَهْفِ السِّنِينَ عَدَدًا. That is something specifically mentioned there, that we have stamped upon their ears in the cave for so many years. So why this stamping of the ear is mentioned? Only for that reason, that ears still function when you are asleep while your eyes are closed. So that is, as I said, a linguistic miracle of Al-Quran. And coming back to our original discussion, we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Basir. He sees everything, every action, every person. While you are in or out, He sees you. So always try to be in a good state of Islam, so nothing bad is recorded against you. وصلى الله تعالى على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. And we are going to continue after the break.